So hi, everybody. My name is Marie Ekeland. I'm the co-founder of Daphni. So Daphni is an early-stage pan-European venture fund. We just announced our first closing a month ago for a 150 million euro fund. So when I was asked to talk about how I see my company in 5 years, it was quite surprising for me because we were just launched. So the idea of saying, OK, so what's the future was quite interesting. So the first thing we did was to say, we are actually part of a trend in the venture market, and so trying to positioning the landscape to see where we are on that path, on our own path. And if you have a little look at what's going on in the venture capital market and the landscape, you see that, one, there was a lot of new actors coming in the space. Let it be at the seed level, at the venture level, or at the late stage level. You have new actors like crowdfunding platforms for seed. You have corporates, actors coming in and doing venture. And you have public investors that came back to late stage investing at the late stage level. And on the other part of it is that there's also a different and new value propositions for both founders and LPs that are displayed by these type of actors. One, there's a lot of services. So accelerators was a part of saying, come on, entrepreneurs, I'm going to give you a lot of services. This is also what did Andreessen Horowitz in the United States, or community models like First Round at the venture level as well. And on the late stage level, it was more that idea also of saying we need to build different services for our own LPs, so build your opportunity funds or different type of investing modes. Knowing that, the idea that we wanted to be was to say that Daphni was part of a different and disruptive venture landscape, and I'll tell you how, but more to understand how we needed to say that it's where the disrupted venture landscape is actually part of a more global disruption that we all know is happening, and where actually the winners are the ones that are following the startup rules. So one, you need to be competitive at the international level, let it be because even if you're not going, people are coming. So at the venture level, that means that in Europe, we see US ventures coming in. We see all these different new actors. So question is, how can you compete with your own value proposition with all these different people? Because good entrepreneurs choose their investors. So that means you need more innovation. That means you need more scale. You need to be able to articulate something for the founders, telling them that you will be capable of helping them optimize the chance of being successful at the international level. Number two is user centricity. You need to be user-centric, obviously, knowing that as a venture, we have two types of users. One is our entrepreneurs. The other ones are our own investors. And this is that agile organization, try to understand how the market is evolving, being very quick, and thinking as yourself as an open platform because you want to be able to provide better services to your users, even if there's third-party services, but that makes them stay on your own platform. Third thing is investment, where in Europe, we're used to having companies that are thinking profitability. Companies that were mostly funded through debt, and that today, the question when you're thinking growth and not profitability is that you need equity a lot more, and investment themes that are a lot more aggressive. So seeing that and seeing also the change in business model that makes you need more investment because you start by acquiring users and free users really made us think that you need to have the capacity of investing at a very high scale. So what we did at Daphni is consider ourselves, we're all coming back from the venture world, so it's more an evolution than really a disruption, as mutants. And trying to say we want to do these three things, being competitive at the international level, being user-centric, and being capable of investing the right amount of capital in our companies to help them succeed. So to do that, we build actually two different pillars, which are our secret ingredients. Secret ingredient number one, we build a community around the fund. That community is internationally dispersed. We're based in Paris. We're a team of 12. It's not like that we're going to really be capable of targeting the world. So we said we have a lot of network. We need to plug this network and this trusted community on a platform. And these were the ones who are going to help us scale. So these people are not only entrepreneurs, because one of the things that we're not good at in Europe is that we're very siloed. It's the corporates are very little talking to startups and not talking to research labs, et cetera. So trying to have a diverse community as well with different type of expertise and skills. Also placed at the different innovation hubs, and then to be able to leverage that community in a lot more scalable way and industrial way than what we used to do before. And so to do that, we build a digital platform. That means in our teams of 12, there's 40% of the team that is dedicated to either building the platform with tech profiles or engaging the community with community managers, brand builders, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a very different type of team profile. And the way we leverage the community is not only by plugging everybody on the platform for them to be able to help the founders once we have invested, but it's a more collaborative model also on the deal-making side, which is quite new, meaning that all the community is plugged and is accessing our deal flow and can share their expertise, their insight on what's going on in that particular sector, et cetera, et cetera. The way we do it, because if you need to be capable of building trust with the founders, is that all the founders see everybody who's part of the community and they can select who has access to their data or not. Same thing on the community side. They have to declare themselves not conflicted. They have to say, I'm going to manage confidentiality the right way, et cetera. All this to say we're in a trusted, closed community, and we can all help us together make better investment decisions and help the founders afterwards scale. A very collaborative model. So then, where are we in 5 years? Once we have that. So say, we want to build this international competitiveness, user-centricity investment, trying to do it with being competitive at the international level through the community that's curating all the deal sourcing for us everywhere in the world, trying to build a brand by being both transparent, building a lot of insight. I mean, the one who actually said to the world that New York was a very important point in the venture world in the US was Fred Wilson with his blog. We try to build a lot of that insights in Paris, showing that there's a lot of things going on through a lot of a media strategy, writing chronicles, sharing experiences and insights, and obviously through our community scouts elsewhere in the world. The user centricity part is also very important. We're obviously having 2 users, as I was telling you, so trying to help them scale by using and building direct access to all our network for the founders so they can have business deals, they can qualify the talents they have through an internal job board, they can ask for advice from people who have been there, seen that, and build their accelerated path to success for founders, but also for investors being actors of the value creation, because they're also on the platform. They can also help having the companies they have invested in, that indirectly invested in, be successful. And the last part would be through that investment. Obviously, all this is to bring greater performance to the portfolio, but also to be capable of building different business models in the venture industry through more freemium access. So we have, for example, in that platform, a direct and private a private co-investment module for LPs who really want to be more exposed, invested more in one particular company, that they can as well. So just kind of scaling the opportunity fund model. So all this to say that this is where we're aiming at. I don't know where we'll be in that path in 5 years, but something I also wanted to tell you was that 5 years is actually a long time. It's 1 year more than Donald Trump's mandate. There's a lot of change that's going to go on in the following years. And we together share a lot of responsibility on what are the changes that are going to happen in these years and that are going to shape the world we're building. And we are the dreamers, we're the doers, we're the game changers. So trying to use that to build the world that we want our children to live in is important, and it's happening now. We cannot rely only on politics. We have time, we have energy, we have money. We as investors are choosing the type of companies that will have the best chance of success. We as founders are making the choices of shaping the type of lives that we are showing, and we're building visions and values that we're spreading all over the world. So please take that into account in all the decisions and actions you're taking, because we only have 5 years. Thank you.